La la la. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TGSS 2018. Very first game, cab off the ranks.
Tell me about it. I think I'm live. Am I live? I can't hear myself. Why can't I not hear
Hear you.
myself?
I can't hear you either.
Okay. Technical issue.
Uh-oh.
We'll sort this.
Well, in the meantime, while my co-commentator JR sorts out what technical issues, now I'm gone. There we go. Is it a hearing issue? You know, I've been to many derby convention type things, and first game in, there's always a little bit of technical difficulties.
To what? No.
I still can't hear you.
No.
Let's get some technical assistance from someone who's good at putting chords into things. So if you're at home listening and watching on the live feed, or even in fact if you are somewhere around the globe watching roller derby right now, Northside Rollers are up against the VRDL Queen Bees. I'm not too sure how close we are, but there's definitely only one team on the track, so they can't be in the next 30 seconds about to start.
anyone?
Oh, I can hear you.
You can, but I can't hear me.
How
Maybe
about-
now.
Oh,
Now there you go.
Perfect.
Now I can hear myself.
Oh, you sound great.
Oh, thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to TGSS, coming to you live from the Adelaide Showgrounds for the 2018. My name is JR, and it's great to have your company wherever you may be tuning in, anywhere around the world, or certainly across this great big brown land we call Oz. And
That's right. And I'm Chief Intent.
You are Chief Intent.
So, JR, do you want to read out the lovely Northside Rollers?
I would love to read out the lovely North Side Rollers. Starting with 00, we have a Duchess of Hazard, number 11, Suspender, number 119, Daywalker, number 301, Fizzkick and the Captain, number 3892, Catitude, also co-captain, number 47, Miss Rye, number 5, Sunny Onslaught, number 76, and one of my faves, Mad Pixie, number 801, Arkaramov, number 83, Curly, number 88, Miss Ebola, and rounding out the Death Stars lineup is 883, Venus Thigh Slap, with Sin Amin Whip, Crash, and Bumpy Skate Princess as the bench staff.
And for the VRDL Queen Bees, 007, Honey Collider, 04, Modern Warfare, 108, Tripitaka, 117, Chop Chop, 122, Ella Edwards, 1618, Victoria Beater, number 17, Billy, number 23, Gin and Jukes, 27, Beowulf, 314, Pike Curious, 36, Slim Hurton, 506, Betty Doom, 74, Darling, 84, BA, and 93, Slappuccino. So, VRDL not entering into this competition with their A team.
No. It's a bit strange, that one, isn't it?
Well, look, I think it's a ranking thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they didn't. I think even if they played anybody here, and I don't want it to sort of sound weird or anything, but if they played anybody here, they'd go down a ranking, even if they won quite considerably, just because of the WFTDA ranks.
Sure.
But it's great that they've got a B and a C team here. So
They have.
We'll definitely see them representing in this amazing tournament here at TGSS.
Yep.
So we've got 4 minutes to go for Derby.
We have.
And, what TGSS is this for you, JR?
This is number 2. Sadly, I missed the previous one. But the first year I came was in 2014. And it left such a huge stamp, shall we say. Just so many fond memories of TGSS 14. It's funny you mentioned about the VRDL All-Stars. I had a few of my friends skating in that particular roster, and they've since become great friends. So it's kind of weird not having them here this weekend, although they're here. They're not here to any sort of official capacity, but make no mistake, I think VRDL, with the two teams that they've got this weekend, are still going to be very strong. And so really looking forward to this weekend. And I think TGSS, it's just one of those tournaments, isn't it? It's massive. Everyone wants to be here. We're here.
Well, exactly. Everyone should be here.
Exactly.
Because we're here. It is a fantastic tournament. It's Adelaide puts on an amazing show. It's
Do they what?
Such a well-run machine.
Oh.
And it's just great to be part of 38 teams from across Australia and New Zealand.
Yep.
And it's just really great to be in there and back here in Adelaide.
It is indeed. Although the weather wasn't all that kind to us yesterday. But then
No.
again, it wasn't that kind when we left Melbourne. So it was kind of same for us. So
True.
yeah.
I like on the way up, you're just checking in on Facebook, and then everyone's like, oh, here we are at the Big Koala, and you're like, okay, so Bob's 2 hours in front of us.
Yep.
And you're like, someone's
That's
on
it.
the slide at nil. Okay, they're an hour behind, and everyone's sort of tracking their way up from Melbourne to Adelaide to be here by car.
Yeah.
And you can sort of track where they are based on the photos they're taking of the landmarks.
I think it's obligatory thing to do on a road trip. The Big Koala, he gets a lot of love this time of year, every 2 years. So
he sure does. He's a weirdo.
He should be asking for he should be asking for royalties. That thing. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, he gets a lot of action.
He does. We're not too far off from a start here, Chief. We're just a little over 1 3/4 minutes away, folks, from getting this first game, track 1, day 1, TGSS underway.
Right, so you've
We're
got
back.
1 minute to Derby. Grab yourself a drink. If you've got to go take a whiz, do it now.
Do all the things now.
Yeah, because this game is, even though it's the first game of the tournament,
Yeah.
it's going to be a real killer. I mean, VRDL Queen Bees
Oof.
versus Northside, they train together.
Yep.
And they're like easily, I would say, the two best teams in Melbourne quite by far.
Oh,
Northside have come
strong.
up leaps and bounds in the last few years.
Yeah, very, very strong. Absolute, as you said, an absolute belter of a game first up to get things underway here on track one. Northside, very, very strong. Both their teams, in fact, are very, very strong.
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be, I know I just said it a second ago, but this is going to be one heck of a game. I really think both teams offensively, both teams defensively. Defensively, they cover the track so well. Offensively, they've got strong jammers on both sides of the equation.
Yep.
So it all makes for an absolute belter. So
And
we are just about
what a
set.
game to start on as well.
Oh.
So, interesting
Yes.
side note.
Yes.
You know, Fizz Gig,
Yes.
I named her.
Did you?
I sure did.
Oh.
I was friends with her before we even got into Derby.
Oh,
and
look at
she
this.
was like, I need a name. And I'm like, you know, the Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
Because she's like that in real life. She's awesome.
Nice. So we have number 76, Mad Pixie, up against Ella Edwards on the jammer start line to get this one underway, folks.
Mad Pixie and Ella, both incredibly competent jammers. It's Ella Edwards straight down the inside, and she is rocketing around that track there.
Yeah. Look, found the gap beautifully, did Ella on that particular previous pass. Just saw a little bit of a gap on the inside part of the track there and made full use of that. Meanwhile, the action now just coming off into turn 2. And both teams quite reluctant to give either jammer anything to work with.
Yeah.
Very nice tight pack.
Ella's on her scoring pass now, and Mad Pixie's still caught up in the back of the VRDL blockers. Ella's through, and looks like first blood goes to VRDL Queen Bees.
Yeah, picking up a handy 4 points there was Ella. And Mad Pixie just finally now getting through the pack.
She stashed it,
Yeah.
but it's still in her hand there. So we've got the pivot, number 88, coming off for Northside.
That's Missy Bowler. Having a bit of a seat in the penalty box. Meanwhile, back into turns 4 is where all the action is at, ladies and gentlemen, now. With a somewhat split pack.
It looks like Mad Pixie's found her way into the sin bin as well, so she's sitting there. So it gives Ella Edwards a nice clear advantage to put some unanswered points on the board.
And no one likes to give the opposition jammer any clear advantages whatsoever to speak of, but that's where Ella Edwards finds herself now, picking up a Grand Slam 5-point haul on that previous pass.
Oh, a bit of a stumble there. Not the most graceful of entrance through those packs, but who needs grace when you got 5 points on the board?
Exactly. And just to be able to keep her balance too, and a lot of skaters in that situation would have been easily knocked to the ground, but Ella had obviously got a lot of core strength there and just kept her balance nicely.
And she calls it off. That's the first jam down. And 21-0 in the first jam.
That's a handy jam to start things off, isn't it? To get 21 points on the board against your name. Very nice.
Certainly not a problem.
No.
Starting off the first blood with 21-0.
Always very, very handy.
So we got Chop Chop, ex-SSRG Sunstate superstar. Now VRDL Queen Bee up against number 301 Fizz Gig. Two incredibly competent jammers right up against each other.
And the pack just making its way through onto, or exiting rather, turn 2 and getting out front and picking up lead jam for VRDL. It is Chop Chop.
Chop Chop is an incredibly fit lady. She is like a CrossFit champion.
Really?
And she does handstands wherever she goes.
Of course she does.
That was a nice hit it and quit it, old school style.
Yep.
25-3. So Northside are on the board, which is fantastic to see. And Gin and Jukes up for VRDL.
Yep. And Venus Thigh Slap, it looks like.
Venus Thigh Slap.
with the trademark stand back off the jammer start line.
The
Get a little bit of a
Happy
sway.
Gilmore run up.
Yep, get a little bit of a sway going. She didn't do the sway. I'm a bit disappointed. I must have words with her later on.
A trademark sway.
Trademark sway.
The old Swayze.
Exactly. Busy pack heading into turn one. A lot of action going on. Both jammers working really, really hard to try and find a gap, some sort of an advantage, work the seams. A nice big defensive hit there from one of the Victoria blockers.
But the Queen Bees come out with a finger in the air, and Gin and Jukes is the lead jammer.
Yeah, nice move there by Jen, just working that inside line off of turn two, trying to find any space that she could, and she did it quite well.
Venus Thigh Slap still stuck at the back, unable to make her initial pass.
More caffeine is required over here, ladies and gentlemen.
Perhaps a little too much caffeine.
I
Who
know.
knows? You've got to kick-start it.
I
I
know. Meanwhile, we're having a little chat here and paying no attention to the fact that Jean is absolutely just raking in points left, right, and centre. That's a second, third 5-point grand slam haul going the way of Gin and Jukes and the VRDL.
And you can see the painted three-person wall holding together that is so synonymous with the All-Stars. But that gets trained, obviously, all the way through VRDL.
Yeah.
And a great blocking there by the VRDL Queen Bees.
Yep. One of the things with VRDL, and they teach it so early, whether you're with the VICs, then going on up into the Queen Bees and ultimately into All-Stars, their defense and their recycling work is just insanely good, and that's probably why they're #1 ranked team in the world at the moment. So to be able to watch it in this particular stage is you can see why they're so strong defensively and why they cover the track so well.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just re-engaging and re-enveloping and then recycling. It's a lot of re's.
Oh, a lot of re's.
Meanwhile, Ella Edwards, front lead jammer, finger in the air.
Yep.
And she turns that last corner, looking around to put some points on the board.
Oh, nice big defensive hit there by 83. I think that was no, it was not Miss Ebola. My correction. It was Venus Thigh Slap doing a little bit of defensive work there.
Got a big hit there by the Duchess of Hazard.
Yeah.
Taking Ella out just for a brief moment before she could skate back in and putting some points on the board.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we do have two of the Northside blockers sitting penalties, which is making this a little bit more fun for Ella. Nice work, though, defensively down here in between turn 1 and 2, but the VRDL team holding up Duchess. Now, Duchess is a very, very strong skater, and one of her strong points is being able to get in there and make a mess of things. And obviously VRDL have identified that, and they thought, hold on, we're not going to let you make a mess of us when our jammer's going around doing all the things, so we're just going to hold you up here. That was actually really, really smart play. So,
and it's that kind of strategy that you've got to employ when you're playing against teams at this level, you know.
Yep.
You've got to isolate
absolutely
and look at some of these key players and just go, we really don't want to get completely smashed out of the park by Duchess here.
Yep.
Meanwhile, chop, straight down the side, and she's lead jammer.
And just exiting the penalty box now for the Death Stars. It is Curly. And Chop working out the front of the pack there, with just one more blocker to get past, and does that. And picking up another 4 points for VRDL.
Curly caught up in the back of that VRDL wall there, and they are hoping to get their way through, but is now getting recycled by Victoria Beda and having to make their way right back to the back of the pack.
Yeah, God, they're strong. So strong. If you ever want a masterclass in how to work a triangle with an offensive blocker, ladies and gentlemen, we are having it put on right in front of us. As Chop now makes her way through and picking up all the points and then calling it off, as you do.
Look, you can tell that this TGSS is warming up. Everyone's so excited to be here. First game off the rank. It is going to get heated
It
this
is.
weekend.
It is massive.
I have no idea who's going to be coming out in the top 3 or 4 in this event.
If
so
we
many
get
good teams.
If we get a break, I might dive into that a little bit more in depth with you. But out the front and
Gin
picking
and
up lead jammer, it is Gin and Jukes for VRDL. She's a tall girl.
She is tall.
She's huge. Meanwhile, all the action, ladies and gentlemen, is happening just on the turn 1, and the VRDL making it really difficult there for Mad Pixie, which is not something you'd say in the same sentence. Difficult and Mad Pixie. Usually Pixie gets through nice and quickly, but...
That's right. Yeah, if you're looking out there and can't see a star on the head, it's because Mad Pixie's got it in her hand right now. But you're absolutely right, JR. Mad Pixie is a phenomenal jammer, and she's having so much trouble here with these queen bees.
Yep. And whilst all that's happening out in front of her, Jin is just going about her merry way, picking up another Grand Slam 5-point haul for VRDL.
Yep. Is she going to try and put a few more points on before she calls it?
Yeah.
And there it is.
Good work there by Jin. Just had a look around and saw that Pixie was about to come through on a scoring pass and thought none of it. I am going to call this one off. Another 19-point haul there for Jin and VRDL, pushing them out to 87. Death Stars on 3 with just on 20 and some loose change remaining in this first half. Game 1, day 1.
Beowulf and Fizzkig up on the jammer line. Beowulf inside edge. But they are neck and neck.
And I was just going to say, Fizz loves this sort of thing. One-on-one, gets through. Oh, calls it off. Picks up a point. I was going to say, sorry, Fizz loves that sort of thing. A little bit of one-on-one, a little bit of speed about it. And that's something that she thrives on. But then again, getting out front and having the whole track to herself too is nothing too unfamiliar. So
no, that's right. Tripitaka up against 8-3, which is Venus Thigh Slap. Tripitaka spent last year off the skates, actually, training up some VRDL juniors.
Yeah.
And she's back on the skates now, which is great. I've always been a big fan of hers.
Yep.
Venus, that's north side lead jammer. Venus Thigh Slap.
Yeah, nice little bit of work there by Venus, working on the outside line off of turn 2 there. Found all the space that she needs to get on through. But tell you what, not to be outdone is Trippy, making hay while the sun shines, as one would say. And
what does that saying mean?
Make hay while the sun shines?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's make your opportunities
while you've got them.
While you've got them.
Okay.
But as soon as I said that, though, the pack come to a grinding halt right in between turns 3 and 4, and Trippy just came to a grinding halt with them.
As is always the way.
As is always.
And you're like, oh, they take a massive advantage, and they've gone fouled out. Great work there by Northside, putting on some answered points.
Some answered points.
For all.
For all, yep.
Interesting little tidbit as well. Cinnamon Whip. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but wasn't she the bench coach for Team Australia in the World Cup back in February?
I think she was.
If
there's anyone that can correct that for us, please feel free to do so. But I'm pretty sure she was, yeah.
I'm pretty sure she was. I saw her on the sidelines giving a bit of a yell.
Yes.
So, and they came second in the world. So, Northside's got to be lucky and happy to have her on the bench, helping them along.
True.
Curly and Ella.
Yep.
Just having a bit of a chat.
Whilst,
an official review goes on down there.
As I look across to the VRDL bench, one of my dear friends, and she was a member of our league before moving on to bigger and better things. She's not looking. She will eventually. No, she was looking. She just turned away.
Yep.
So Dire Skates, obviously an all-star skater, certainly made the all-star roster. Ex-Kingston girl, so obviously love to support Jess
where
I can.
Boy,
I am a KCR boy. Yes, this is our first year here as well. So very much looking forward to what the weekend throws at us.
Yep.
Yeah, so it should be a lot of fun.
Oh, nice one. I'm looking for some sponsors over here. I know we've got them. Rydell, it's got to be in there. Oh, here we go. Rydell, for over 70 years, Rydell has been innovative leader in the roller skating industry. Rydell skates, unmatched quality, unmatched performance.
Oh, there's our sponsors page. Wow. And, of course, the Adelaide Showgrounds is where we find ourselves this weekend, so big shout-out and thank you to all the staff here at the Adelaide Showgrounds for allowing us to, well, come in and basically wreak havoc for 3 days and then bugger off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's an awesome venue. If you've never been here, ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favour. Start putting the coins away. Start focusing on 2020 and get over here because it is, just the event aside, the venue is just something else. And
it only happens every couple of years.
It does.
It is the biggest tournament in the Southern Hemisphere.
It is.
And it is certainly something to behold being down here on the ground and
definitely
amongst it all. Ella Edwards, Curly, both trying to make their way through the pack. Ella is victorious. Curly is still stuck back in the pack. They're having real trouble trying to get through some of those front blockers by the Queen Bees. North side. Get together, but Ella just finds the outside edge and just sort of dances around that three wall. Yeah,
she's so quick on her feet is Ella and really just gets through the pack. It looks like she's getting through quite easy, but I kid you not, it's hard work. But I'd love to know what her percentage is in lead jam because I think every time she's been on the track, she's picked up lead jam. So she'd be at least running in the high 80s or 90s. If she keeps this up all weekend, hello, tournament MVP jammer.
First game in off the blank and you're calling the MVP jammers.
Oh, look, I've been known to be bold.
Yeah, that's all right. Bet your house on it.
Just go all in. Oh, don't know about that. Slow moving pack then as we're
from Melbourne. No one can afford a house in Melbourne. It was a trick question.
Yeah, I know. Now the pack get their way down the back straightaway, picking up a little bit of speed now, entering into turn 3. And again, both teams very, very firm in defence. But Ella doesn't seem to have that issue with the defence because she's just making her way through and calling that one off.
Really good offensive defence there by Pike Curious, trying to break up that north side wall.
Yep.
All too late, though.
14 points going the way of Ella Edwards and the Victorian team. And the Northside Death Stars sitting on 8 points. And that's what I said right at the top of the broadcast. These two teams, both offensively and defensively, are just so strong.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how they pan out over the weekend.
Exactly.
Wow, Northside straight out of the gates. Mad Pixie. Now, this is the Mad Pixie we're used to.
This is true.
Flying around the track at about 150 million miles an hour.
Yes.
Closely followed by the very speedy Chop Chop.
Exactly.
So it is a Jammers action in there. She's looking over to the bench. They're going, you know what, just keep going.
Get some points. Interestingly, on the scoreboard, they've got Chop Top down as the lead, but I'm sure they'll rectify that. We know who's lead. We can see the referee.
The scoreboard's going big back and forth.
Yeah.
And good work there.
Nice.
Nice one by Mad Pixie. Now, JR, do you know much of Mad Pixie's history? She was an ex-GRDL girl, was she?
She was an ex-GRDL girl. She's actually skated with Kingston a couple of times as a guest skater, so we are very, very familiar with Pixie and what she can do. Ex-GRDL.
Yep, which is Geelong, for those who don't know. It's another Victorian team.
Yep. Moved across to the Death Stars about 2 years ago now. I should have done my homework more on Pixie, but it's funny how you forget all these things. You know, but you forget.
It's all the particulars.
Exactly.
There's so much movement in Victorian Roller Derby anyway. There's so many great leagues and so many choices for people to switch around to.
Right. It is, I think we're very, very spoiled.
Yeah, we sure are. Look, Fizzgig has just become the only jammer on the track as the VRDL jammer. I can't see who the number is from here.
It's Gin and Jukes.
It is Gin and Jukes. She is now sent off for a cut track. And it is all coming up Fizzgig.
Yeah.
However, she's being recycled. And the VRDL defense just storming around there. Pike Curious tries to re-engage, unable to, as Fizzgig gets lead jam.
Now, Fiskig's really going to want to. She's going to want to put the afterburners on here a little bit, I reckon. While she's still got the jammer, that is Gin and Jukes in the penalty box, and try and get something happening for her and the Death Stars. But that said, Gin and Jukes release out of the penalty box now, back on track, bang, straight away, straight through, no problems at all.
So
amazing.
Initial pass is through. Now this is where Fizz is going to have to figure out if she wants to stay on there, which is happening. Gin and Jukes pile drives her way through north side defense. And there's Fizz Gig putting points on the board as well.
Yep. Exactly what Death Stars didn't want Gin and Jukes to do. She's actually just gone ahead and done it. And that's just bang, bang, get through, get points.
Yep. Gin and Jukes getting tapped out on the inside edge there and getting recycled all the way to the back, but making her way through and putting some more points on the board. And it looks like Fizz Gig is also getting recycled. It is a great recycling game, which is good for the environment, not great for the game.
I like that. Can I use that material? Is that copywritten? Can I use your material?
Yeah, sure. As long as I'm not in the game commentating.
Fun and games here, ladies and gentlemen, at Adelaide Showgrounds. That one's been called off.
All right, so a lot of points there on the board, both teams. It looks like we got 9 points going to Northside Roller and 14 points going to VRDL.
We do. And that stretches their score and their lead to 123 with the Death Stars on 26, with just on 12 and 3/4 minutes remaining.
Team timeout has been called by Northside Rollers just to gather their thoughts and have a bit of a chin wag. If you're from overseas and you're like, what the hell is a chin wag?
Well, it's a conversation. It's like what we're doing now. A bit of a chin wag, bit of a chit chat, bit of a loose lippery. No, that's more gossip, isn't it? That's more grapevine stuff.
That's right.
Come on, JR, get your stuff together. A chin wag, it's a bit of a conversation.
That's right, with your chin wagging.
With
like,
your
like
chin
a tail.
wagging.
I don't know if that's an Australian term.
Probably not.
It probably isn't. Everyone else in the world's going, yeah, great, mate. Yeah, everyone knows what a chin wag is, you dog.
Yes.
So I just want to make a big shout out to AGS Lighting and Sound Events. Thanks for AGS for supplying our AV equipment today.
Thanks, AGS.
Sales high, installation of audio, visual lighting system for all commercial and domestic applications, including corporate function and conferences. Without them, you'd be listening to this. But because they're here, you're listening to this.
Yeah. I forgot my my cricket sound effect thing. Bang, didn't press the button hard enough. Damn it.
I usually have it everywhere with it. Mobile crickets.
Well, no one can see Tumbleweed when they're listening to us on podcast. So, I definitely left the Tumbleweed at home.
That's right. Venice thigh slap up for Northside Rollers, trying to make their way through the back of the Queen Bees.
And it's Beowulf doing the same thing out front for the Victorian team. And getting on through and picking up lead jammer for Victoria. It is Beowulf.
Beowulf, quite a small skater. So she's got that sort of little pocket rocket down low. I always wondered, I'm not a skater myself, but blocking someone so close to the ground has got to be difficult.
It's actually really, really hard. Being a skater of sorts, you try and do defensive work on someone so much smaller than you. You actually, it's really hard. Everyone thinks it's easy, but it's actually not. And
and that whole the blocking area is between the shoulders and the knees.
Yeah.
And when you compact that, suddenly, where are you meant to hit?
And, of course, Beowulf would know that, and she was just, as a skater, developing her skills early days, would have gone, okay, well, I'm not that tall, so I'm going to get even lower and make it even more hard for someone to put any defensive work on me. So.
And that's where you see good tactics against those kind of skaters, like positional blocking, and just making it hard for them to get through rather than the big hits.
Yeah.
Because you just can't have the big hits on little people.
Exactly.
Because there's nowhere to hit because they're,
Yep, exactly.
There's 2 inches between the shoulders and the knees.
Yep. That said, speaking of people of height, stature, we have Mad Pixie on the jammer start line for Death Stars.
Yep.
Now, not very tall, but obviously done a lot of off-skates training. And is very, very strong. So,
height has no difference to strength or speed or talent in roller derby, and that's what I love about roller derby. All shapes and sizes are not only welcome, but become absolute assets in the game.
Definitely.
Oh, cut track. Speaking, just as we're praising her great attributes, there she goes into the bin.
Oh well.
So now we have number 27, which is
And
Beowulf.
Beowulf.
So she's coming back out now.
Yep.
I think she must have been sent off towards the end because she's now getting lead jam. So she wasn't sent off at the start here, sent off towards the end of the last jam and is now the lead jammer of this jam.
Yep. And wasting absolutely no time and picking up a Grand Slam 5-point haul for Victoria. It is Beowulf.
Yeah, she just makes jumping over people look like it's just everyday bizzo.
Like easy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And believe you me, anyone that's tried this crazy, beautiful, wonderful sport of roller derby, you ever tried doing an apex jump and landing it? It ain't that easy.
I have trouble staying up on skates without jumping.
Yeah, right. I'm lucky I come from an inline hockey background, an ice hockey background, so skating for me is not all that foreign. Although, that said, it is different on quads. I don't care what anybody says. Quads to inlines to ice, it is all different. But fun. I love it.
Yeah. I get the feeling if roller derby was played on ice skates, you'd have a lot less fingers in the game.
You would. You definitely would.
But Beowulf putting some more points on the board. Some nice unanswered scores hitting VRDL Queen Bees.
Yeah, it's not what Death Stars are wanting at all.
Actually, it looks as though, sorry, my apology. It looks like Northside's got 9 points here.
Unfortunately, we had a completed star pass for Death Stars. It was going to be picked up by Duchess of Hazard, but unfortunately, the VRDL Queen Bees were more than aware of that and went, no.
I love it when they pass the star to a blocker.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, it's always the pivot they are only allowed to pass it to.
Yeah.
But when they pass it to an absolute powerhouse of a blocker, and you
Yep.
see the other team just go, oh no,
And they collectively all just sink in their seats. Yeah, you know you've done something good.
That's right. Northside fielding Curly as they try and get through those last few Queen Bee blockers up there. And it looks like we've got ourselves a power jam situation. No, we don't. Both jammers have been sent off.
Yep.
So they're not going to be in the bin for very long, but that means we're going to run the full 2 minutes because both of them have made themselves penalties.
Yep.
So neither can be the lead jammer anymore.
Nope. And first out of the box, it is Trippy Taka for the Queen Bees. Wasting no time in getting back around and hopefully getting some I wouldn't say much needed points for VRDL. That's totally incorrect because they've got a more than comfortable lead at this particular point in the game. Curly, however, for the Death Stars, she's also back on track. And she's got the stash happening. And no sooner has she's re-entered the track, she's just been met solidly by a wall of navy, blue and white, and they are giving her absolutely zero, zilch, nick, nada to work with.
Tripitaka, 5 points on the board. Curly still stuck still stuck in the back of those VRDL Queen Bees.
Nice. Nice little apex jump there by Trippy Taka. You don't see that from Trippy that much. Apex jump's not really sort of in her repertoire. I mean, it's there. She'll do it if she really has to, but it's not really a thing for her.
Yeah. Well, look, if you got it, you don't need to always use it.
No, that's exactly right. I'm sure Trippy, I know Trippy's got a big bag and it's full of some amazing tricks.
That's right.
Yep.
But it looks as though, is this Mad Pixie now? No.
No, it's Missy Bowler.
Mr. Bowler.
Yes. Which is good for Death Stars because the jam now going for the full 2 minutes, so it can't be called off. There can't be any tactic against Missy Bowler now.
That's all right. It's run its natural course anyway.
It has. And the thing that's really, unfortunately, working against the Death Stars, they've got to stop these big 19, 14, 15, and in this particular case, and on the previous jam, 20-point hauls. It's just really... It's really hurting them big time on the scoreboard, as we see with just on 16 and a quarter minutes remaining in this first half. Ladies and gentlemen, Victoria 173, Death Stars on 30.
Fizzgig up against Ella Edwards. Fizzgig finding that outside edge going through. Looks like she's going to get lead jammer. She does so. Ella's still stuck at the back of the north side in the middle of a 3-wall, getting a bit of assistance there from 007 Honey Collider as she makes a bit of room, but Ella is now only just making her initial pass. Fizzgig, of course, putting 5 points on the board because she's lapped Ella.
Yeah, beautiful work there by Fizzgig on the previous jam, coming off of turn turn one on the inside line there, double toast up hop, I guess you would call it.
Yep.
Such poise to be able to do that and taking with you some speed along the way. I know a lot of people would do that and they would lose speed, lose momentum, but to be able to see that with some speed, carry some speed through is just insanely good. Well done. And, of course, getting points and calling it off, even better.
Fizzgig is certainly a great little weapon
Yes.
against the VRDL. And they're going to want to keep her in the back pocket.
Yep.
Because she's been doing some great work here against these bees.
True.
So Chop Chop stumbles her way to the front after getting lead jammer. She's okay. She still did stay in. She was almost out on the inside edge there. And Venus thigh slap the jammer for Northside. And she's now through for her initial pass, but not the lead jammer, as indicated by the ref in the middle.
But we have a power jam scenario now. Unfortunately, Chop Chop, she went to the bin and now been released. Okay.
Just a quick bin trip.
It was a very quick bin trip.
That's hard to say, the old quick bin trip.
Try saying that after a couple of drinks. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, back to matters more important.
Venus thigh slap is now in the position to be putting some points on the board. No, she's already got 4 points on the board, so she's now coming around for a second scoring pass.
Slow moving pack then, going into turn 2. And Chop Chop just cruising around, just assessing what's in front of her. She I could be completely wrong here, but she just looks a little bit worn out. I think the halftime break couldn't come quick enough for her, to be honest.
That's I think something going on there. I don't think Chop Chop does get tired.
Right. So you think it's legit? Do you think she might be?
I don't think she's tired.
No, okay.
She never gets tired.
No.
No, even at the
she's
end
playing
of night.
mind games.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
She's just taking it easy.
Yeah.
You know, she's probably thinking about the weekend. Maybe
the
taxes.
after party. Split pack then, coming off of turn 2, heading its way down on the back straightaway. No, we recycle back. We'll go back into turn 2 because that's a fun corner to be at. And that's where the jam gets called.
And also the corner that we can't see that great.
Yeah, I know.
So
especially when you got 7 refs in front of you. It's like, guys, move.
Yeah, exactly. Bring your action over here so we can see a little better.
Yeah. What have we got? An official timeout? Yes, we do.
It does look like an official timeout. Big shout out to all the volunteers and NSOs who helped make this whole thing possible, especially the Adelaide crew who put it on. Because they come around, they're like, "You all right? Do you want a water?" And I'm like, that is fantastic. These guys really make it all happen. I
am absolutely blown away with what Adelaide has done. I mean, not that it's changed that much probably over the years, but certainly coming down last night and doing registration, I was just absolutely blown away. The amount of effort and work that's gone into putting this event on is just, it's mind-numbingly, if I can use that word, and I hope I'm not offending anybody, but it is just mind-numbingly good as to what they have done this weekend. I'm just, I'm privileged to be here. Really am.
So do you know this track that we're currently sitting and looking at?
Yes.
For the longest time, I thought it was concentric ovals.
Right.
But it's not. It's not just one oval parallel to the other oval.
No, it's not.
It's actually on a little bit of a turn.
It is on a bit of a turn, yeah.
And I don't think, like at home, you don't get a really good grasp of that. And so some bits are actually skinnier than other bits because the inside oval is actually on a bit of an angle.
It's it is. I can see what you mean. Yeah, it is slightly angled in.
The modern track that's currently created today was created by Texas Roller Girls back in the day.
Yep.
So some great work going on there. Meanwhile, back on the track.
Back on the track.
They've sorted their stuff out, and it looks like number 23, Gin and Jukes for Queen Bees, is lead jammer.
Yeah, not to be outdone and putting the afterburners on, it is Mad Pixie now flying her way through into turn 2, but unfortunately for Pixie, all to no avail. But that's okay. She'll live to fight another day.
That's right. Can't hurt and turning the speed on and getting in there anyway.
Exactly.
To boot, Mad Pixie is actually really, really, really lovely.
She is.
Yeah.
Tell you what, though, sizable crowd first up. I have to admit, I like this. I like working to a big crowd, even though they can't hear what I'm saying.
Fizz Gig, straight out the bat. She's certainly going to have the best stats against here, these Queen Bees.
Yep.
She's now lead jammer again. She's probably rocking in at about a 70% lead jam ratio
Yep.
for Northside, which is great start here and certainly a powerful weapon. And
yep.
There's some points on the board.
Yep.
And 4 points on the board because number 26, Beowulf, is not been lapped by Fizz Gig.
Yep. We're talking about skaters before and stature and all the rest of it. Fizz Gig just gets so low. She's so quick.
Yeah.
I don't think people really appreciate just how quick she is. Oh, nice little apex jump off of turn 2 there by Fizz.
And there's the extra finger up there. So she's got that 5th because she's now just lapped Beowulf. And a nice little jump, making it all look incredibly easy.
Exactly. You don't get much expression from Fizz Gig, but I guarantee you when she done that and got past and got the 5 points, she would have been secretly going. I just got the extra finger on you. Thank you very much. As she was, she did hit the wall coming into turn 3, and the Victorian girls were making sure that she was not going to get through. Fizz Gig had enough and called it off.
And that is a great jam there for Northside, 15-8. Certainly what they're looking for, a little bit more of that action.
Definitely.
As we round up in, we've got 45 seconds left of this half, and it's gone by so quickly, JR.
I know. It's just gone. Not to worry.
So quickly.
Not to worry.
So Trippy Tucker.
Yeah.
Trippy Tucker on the jam line up against a Venus Thigh Slap in what could potentially be the last jam of the half. I never want to call these things because as soon as you do, it's like, bam, call it off and we'll have another one.
Exactly.
But we've only got 20 seconds left in the period clock and a minute 44 on the jam clock.
True.
Trippy Tucker is certainly going to want to put some points on the board now.
Definitely.
Venus Thigh Slap still caught up there in the Queen Bees.
Nice bit of work there from Trippy Tucker to get the lead Jada status, working the inside line on the previous pass off of turn 2. Some beautiful toe salt work and a bit of a twist and a turn here. And
Duchess of Hazard did a bit of an offensive blocking there and is now getting sent off. Not too sure what for, but probably getting a bit rough.
Yeah, probably just a touch rough.
Yeah.
Touch rough. And I believe, as you said just a moment ago, we never like to preempt.
Oh, they're skating off.
But they're all skating off. Everyone's skating off. And there's the whistle. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the halftime break here at the Adelaide Showgrounds for TGSS2018 Day 1, Track 1, Game 1. All the ones. It is VRDL up against the Death Stars. VRDL halftime is 197. And the Northside Rollers Death Stars on 58. We're going to take a bit of a break. I think I need to find some caffeine.
We've got 14 minutes in the intermission, so
awesome.
Go grab yourself a sandwich. Go grab yourself something to eat because you're going to want to not miss any part of this game coming back in. So we'll see you in approximately 14 minutes.
And it's a big welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to wherever you may be tuning in right across the country or indeed all around the world. My name is JR.
And I'm Chief Intent.
And Chief Intent is back with us as well. We're just about getting set. We are set to rip into this second half between Northside Rollers, Death Stars, and the Queen Bees coming out of Victoria VRDL Staples, as it were.
Exactly. Both these two Victorian teams. They've now switched benches.
They have.
So we're now sitting right next to the Queen Bees. Ella Edwards up against Fizzgig. And Ella comes out through the front, and she's going to be happy with that because Fizzgig is making her way through to the bench.
Fair to say Ella picking up where she left off in the first half there, just getting through and picking up lead jammer as quick as you can blink pretty much. Been very, very dominant in that area today. As I said earlier on in the previous, in the first half, I'd love to know what her lead jammer status is. I reckon to be up into the high 80s because she's having an absolute ripping first up game.
Well, this is certainly what I'm not too sure if Northside are going to intentionally try and put Fizzgig up against Ella. So both of those two jammers, I would say, are probably doing so far in this game, probably performing the best in regards to lead jams. So we'll see what happens with these two powerhouse jammers.
Yeah, I think they have to try something with the points difference being as it is. I think sometimes it's going to get to a point where they've got to throw caution to the wind. They've just got to mix it up and try something to try and get some ascendancy back and pick up a lead jam here and there and maybe pick up a couple of jams where they get 30 or 40 points. But if you can get 40 points, you're doing well. 30 points is mind-numbingly good.
If you can get 40 points against
VRDL. I'll retract that. I will retract that last statement somewhat. But if they can pick up a 15-point jam here and there or a 20-point jam here and there and keep the opposition jammer in the bin, then that's going to go a long way. I mean, I know I'm stating the bleeding obvious, but I think, Northside, they just got to try something.
They do. But they are trying something.
Oh,
and
definitely. No doubt they're trying.
Here comes Mad Pixie.
Look at these two.
Up against Chop Chop.
Look at these two. A competition of who can get the lowest.
That's right. As VRDL skates backwards and then envelops Mad Pixie. Chop Chop trying to push her way through and does so. Lead jammer goes to Chop Chop. But Mad Pixie is right behind her.
Yeah, only giving up around a quarter of a track to Pixie, but Chop Chop was met solidly there by the Northside defence. Got through. She picked up 4 points, I believe. Yes. Picked up the 4 points and called it off.
What are they? Someone's left their lights on in the car park.
Someone has left their lights on in the car park.
Oh, no.
Why? Well, I don't know why. Honest mistake, really.
But turn them off. Jen and Jukes up against Venus Thigh Slap. At similar heights as well. They seem to be matching people's off heights and height.
Yeah. And it looks like it's going to be a 4-3 blocker advantage going the way of the Bees.
And we're currently in the middle of a ref timeout.
Yeah.
Whilst they confer. And it seems as though conferring has finished.
Conferring done.
Tick.
Everything conferred.
Mm-hmm. Gin right up there and Slap getting a bit of good old Happy Gilmore run up.
Yeah.
I think we'll see both these blocking packs slide on back. And here comes
right on cue
Queen Bees to come back and greet Venus Thigh Slap on the pivot line.
Slow moving pack now making its way through off of turn 1.
Gin Jukes, she is through, and so is Venus Thigh Slap.
Yeah, Gin giving up around about half a track to Venus. But Venus is not wasting any time putting the afterburners on, but unfortunately to no avail. Didn't pick up any points on that one.
So something I was thinking about a little earlier. So Sun State are quite affectionately called the Swarm.
Yes.
And they might potentially be up against the Queen Bees at some stage.
Well, you spoke earlier in the first half about me predicting, and somewhat early.
Mm.
I predict that Sun State will face off with
is that your money,
the Bees.
Oh,
Yep, in the grand final come Monday. I think both teams are going to go very, very deep into the competition this weekend. And I also think that if Sunstate are ever going to get their hands on the trophy, which they've chased for a number of years now,
Yep.
I reckon this year they're primed and they're ready to go. But I was looking at it's a massive call.
They weren't in the grand final 2 years ago, that's for sure. It was Sydney.
Was it Sydney? And
Sydney beat Sunstate in a qualifier, and everyone was like, "Whoa,
Yep.
what's going on here?"
But if you cast your mind back to 2014 as well, Sunstate at half-time against the VRDL All-Stars, they were in it up to their eyeballs, and it was just unfortunate for them. A couple of games went VRDL's way.
Yeah.
They had a little bit more composure and ended up, controlling the second half and ultimately running away with the victory. But I think Sunstate, I reckon they're set and primed. That's just my own personal opinion. It's not endorsed by anything or anyone or
not endorsed by reality at all.
No,
but that's okay.
Who knows?
It's good to come in these things with a bit of a preconception, because then you can get it shattered and then be happily surprised when random things happen.
Exactly.
Ella Edwards making her way through to the front, continuing her streak.
Wow.
Of lead jammer status. And that's, again, up against Fizzgig. So they must have changed the rotations around to align those two jammers.
Yep.
Which could work in either one of their favours. But at the moment, it's all coming up Ella.
Yep. Yeah, she's having one heck of a game, is Ella. And just had a look at down the main straightaway and just saw that Fizz was potentially about to get some points and called that one off.
That's right. Ella, Ella, Ella.
Ella, Ella. I don't sing. There's a reason I don't sing. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the one.
Chops up against Curly. Do you remember Chops when she was with Sunset? They all had this hand bit signals, the chop, 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 chop.
Yes. I do remember that.
You don't see that much these days, but I loved it.
Yeah.
It was so good. Oh, great work to stay on her feet. She just pile drives her way through. But she's being sent out for a cut track.
Cut track, yeah.
I didn't see where that was, but the refs did, and that's why we pay them the big bucks. William Shakespeare. Honey Collider rejoins the pack. And it is all coming up Curly, and they have got to be happy with themselves with that one, because they are sliding around now to get some points on the board, and much what Northside need right now.
Yep, handy points while the opposing jammers in the bin's always a very, very good thing. And if Death Stars can get a few more jams like this in the second half, well, who knows?
Some of those Northside blockers trying to make some room and punch some holes in there for Curly to get through. But it's Chop Chop back on the track as she rejoins, and she's just flown right through that pack.
That's incredible awareness to pick your gap, know where you want to go first of all, pick that gap, and then absolutely go through it and execute it. Just amazing skills by Curly.
It's funny because when you first start watching roller derby, you're like, "Wow, these jammers, they're so good. They find all these holes." And then as you're going through, you're like, "Hang on, those holes were made."
Yeah,
they
exactly.
were made by some great defensive work
exactly.
there.
Yep.
And you get a bit of an eye for the pack.
Yep.
And so there's so much action going in on
Definitely.
there. And it's great. The great defensive team will make a jammer look like they're doing it without any effort at all.
But that said, on that previous pass there by Chop Chop, she actually went for the seam.
Oh, yeah,
and got through just as easily, punching her way through the seam. Slow-moving pack, turn one's where we find all the action, ladies and gentlemen. And both jammers, I guess, been held up momentarily, but getting through and picking up some picking up a Grand Slam 5-point haul for the Death Stars.
Great work for
Nice
Curly.
work. Well done, Curly. So we're just on 23 minutes remaining in this game. We have the Victorian Roller Derby Queen Bees 235. Northside Rollers Death Stars on 63. As we see Gin, VRDL, Fizzgig of the Death Stars variety. Whistle blown, hammer down, gets this one underway. Both jammers working really hard on the main straightaway as the pack slowly coming into turn one. Nice bit of defensive work then.
Great work there from Miss Ree.
But guess who out front? Lead jammer.
Fizz.
It is Fizz.
So it seems like they've split them up, and that's probably going to work in their favour.
Yeah.
Fiske wasn't doing so great against Ella in those last couple of jams, but she's certainly come out and put some points on the board now.
Yeah. But again, as I said at the beginning of the second half, for Northside just to change things up a little bit, maybe just throw the odd jammer out where VRDL aren't expecting it. Who knows? It could work. It may not work. But I think to not try anything is to, I don't know, not be creative. Try something. Just throw something. You just never know.
Number 27, Beowulf, up against 883 Venus Thigh Slab.
She's quick.
Very quick.
Very quick.
In fact, in the halftime, I saw her meditating. So she's totally getting into the zone.
She's focused. She's I think it's all business for her, if I can use that expression. It is head down and backside up, and she's 100% focused. I'm sure all the teams are here. I mean, everyone wants to go as far and as deep into the tournament as they possibly can.
Well, it's the kind of tournament that you kind of want to go up against teams that might even be a little stronger than you, so you can learn. Because Northside, I know Northside is super stoked to be in Division 1 this tournament, and it's not because they're going to come out of this necessarily with, on top, but it does mean that they get a chance to play against some of the best teams in Australia. And, and put their medal to the medal?
Pedal to the metal?
No, test their medal. Test their medal.
Yeah.
Test their medal.
What's the old? Yeah, the other old saying is to be the best, you got to beat the best. So.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, certainly they're going to come out of this, even if they don't come out of it with a win, they're certainly going to come out of it with smiling faces because they've done a great job so far.
They have.
No doubt will run this all the way through to the end.
Yeah.
But it is Ella Edwards who is lead jammer at the moment, and she is keeping up her fine tradition of putting points on the board.
Yep. I know we've said it a couple of times already in the call, but Ella Edwards is having one heck of a game. I would love to see her lead jammer percentage and her points. It's got to be high. It has to be high. But anyway, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have that data available to us.
We can just make it up.
Well, we could make it up. Never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Right. She's on 93% lead jam rating, and she's got 178 points on the board herself.
You know what? It's probably not far off. But that would be somewhat a little bit disrespectful to the other jammers that have done an amazing job. As we find ourselves under an official timeout.
Mm-hmm. With Trippy Tucker and Curly on the jam line.
Yep. It looks like we've got an empty penalty box, 4-on-4 on the track, which is always a good thing.
But, thinking back, Tripitaka was perhaps one of the first gender-neutral roles inside children's television.
Yeah. Yeah, it would, again, you're testing my...
Monkey magic.
You're stretching my knowledge, but that's okay.
Everyone thought Tripitaka was a boy, played by a girl.
Yeah.
It was great.
And Trippy's one of these, you look at Trippy and you think, oh, I've got you. She's only a slight build, but she's so strong. And there was evidence there. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen at home can't see that, but up on her toe stop, anyone else would have been knocked to the ground. Her core strength is so strong. There it is again, as we see. Trippy getting on through.
She's a real veteran of the game in Victoria as well.
She is.
And so even though she's had the last year off, she's just come straight back in here and ready to play in the beats.
Yep. But, Trippy is such a strong, her core strength is phenomenally strong.
Well, she trains hard to get there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think the thing to take away here is, you train for 5-6 nights a week on and off skates.
Yep.
You're going to be an absolute powerhouse.
You do.
We've got a team timeout going to a Northside Rollers.
Is it team timeout or official review?
It could be an official review. I've seen official reviews.
You got the team right. It is. It's an official review.
Yeah.
For the Northside Rollers.
Or the third umpire, as they call it in cricket.
They do. Or even in football.
Yep.
You've got the third umpire.
But the technology is a little different in our game than there is in football and cricket. We can't go to the
video.
The video.
No.
This is where the refs just sit around and go, "What do you reckon?
What do you reckon? Oh, I don't know, mate. What do you reckon?
What are they claiming?
Exactly.
Oh, what?
What?
You for real?
Yeah. It'd be great to have that technology. I mean, we could have it on the broadcast. You could have action replays and all that sort of stuff. And
yeah.
So. Right, Al. Rydell's one of our sponsors here this weekend. It's cool. A very, very popular skate, obviously, in the world of roller derby. For over 7 years, Rydell has been the innovative leader in the roller skating industry. Rydell skates, unmatched quality, unmatched performance. They're a good skate. I don't have Rydell.
No. But they are good skates.
They are good skates. From all reports.
A lot of people wear them.
Yeah. Yeah. They do. I'm going to go with that.
There's some all-stars scattered around here.
There are some
I
all-stars.
see Anna pave you over
Yes.
in a fancy crown.
And just look to our left over there in the light black or otherwise grey top. We have the one and only Bisexual.
That's true. Bone Shaker standing right in front of us here in
Yes.
another funny hat.
Yep.
And they've of course got the exhibition match on Monday.
Yeah, they do.
Don't miss that one. That's all the MVPs from the whole competition playing up against the All-Stars.
And what a fantastic opportunity that would be for some of the skaters here this weekend from some of the other teams to come up against the current number one ranked team in the world. I mean, you can't buy that. That's beyond a MasterCard moment for mine. Yeah,
you could probably buy it if you had 50K.
Just
a
lazy 50. I'll just go out to the I'll just go out to the centre console.
If you've got 50K under your belt, you could probably play against the All-Stars.
Get on a plane and get over here now.
So you can do it, but it's very expensive. This is the only way you can earn it.
Yes.
And no doubt every single one of those players up against an All-Star will leave here and go, you know what, I just played the best team in the world.
Exactly.
And got my ass handed to me.
Exactly. And you know what? Not one of them will pay any attention to the scoreboard. They'll just want to do it for the honour, the prestige.
And the opportunity.
The opportunity. That's the word I was looking for.
The opportunity. Last year, Dragon City played against the VRDL All-Stars 900-2.
The biggest win-loss ratio against any two teams in the history of roller derby, I'm told.
And the biggest smiles on any faces I've ever seen on Dragon City's faces. So, sorry, enough talking baloney. Let's get back to the roller derby.
Let's get back to the roller derby because in the previous jam, Mad Pixie has picked herself up a penalty. So it will be a power jam start for Beowulf and the Victoria Queen or Bees for everyone playing along at home. But the Queen Birds. Oh, no. They're to swap out.
Tag it in. Last minute changeover. Going to bring in the big guns. Beowulf takes a seat and Ella Edwards makes her way through to the pivot line. We've got just 18 minutes left in this half. In fact, the entire game. Ella's being pushed out through the inside edge and going to take another stab at that north side defense.
Yeah.
The only jammer on the track at the moment because the north side jammer started in the bin and that's number 76, Mad Pixie.
Yep.
And she's just standing now on the outside edge looking to ask the refs if she's allowed in yet.
Well, she just has to bide her time, and that said, she's back on track now. She can set about doing the things that she does, and, she does it pretty well, but out front and picking up a Grand Slam 5-point haul. It is Ella Edwards for VRDL.
And we have a star stash, but it is staying in the hands of Mad Pixie. She puts it back on her head, even if it is a little wonky.
That was almost a tad late, but no, there was 4 referees that saw that, so I shall remain tight-lipped and say nothing.
We're like bench referees.
Yes.
So not official, but we can just,
Well, we can just talk.
Yeah, exactly. You're probably at home going, no way! It's our prerogative as viewers to make things up. There was a skate out on the inside edge.
No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. Okay.
Beowulf up against Venus Thigh Slap. Venus Thigh Slap taking the outside edge lead. Jammer goes to north side, exactly what they're looking for, but Beowulf is not far behind her.
No, Venus only giving up around about a quarter of a track to Beowulf. Beowulf really got the afterburners on and wants to get through, back around and try and pick up some cheeky points.
It's messy in there, but Beowulf emerges.
Yep.
4 points to VRDL Queen Bees, 2 points to Northside. Not exactly what they were looking for, but it's still some points on the board.
Yep. So it's just on 16.5 remaining in this game. We see VRDL on 261. Northside Rollers on 70.
Tripitaka up against Fizzgig. Fizzgig gives a little shove as the rest of the Queen Bees envelop Fizzgig. Tripitaka storms out through to the front, but she's now surrounded by Northside, getting a cut track.
Oh, no.
Tripitaka is now making her way through to the bench. That means it leaves the door open for Fizzgig to take lead jammer, but she is currently surrounded by bees.
She is indeed, and Victoria making it absolutely treacherous for her to try and get on through, but tip your hat to her. She's working hard. She only had momentarily one blocker to get through, and that's still the case. It gets on through, picks up lead jammer for the Death Stars. That's Fizzgig now on her way back around to hopefully pick up some much-needed points before...
Yep, Fizzgig is looking for some holes. Making some room is the Duchess of Hazard. And now getting back in there, trying to spread that pack out and re-envelop, ready for Tripitaka.
Yeah. Doing a really good job are the Northside defense here on the main straightaway, and Fizzgig getting on through, picking up a
5 points.
Grand Slam 5-point haul, yep.
But she's got to see Tripitaka out of the corner of her eye, and she's calling it off.
Yep.
So Fizzgig having a great game for Northside. They've got to be really stoked with themselves. I'm not too sure on the track history of themselves against Queen Bees, but they've got to be happy with this. I mean,
it's a fair old effort, isn't it?
Queen Bees, I think, are the ranked number 2 WFTDA team in Australia, right behind the A's.
Nice.
And I'm not too sure where Northside are, but this is definitely a valiant effort, and they're certainly going to walk away from this happy.
Oh, you would, and I mean, make no mistake. As you said, this Queen Bee side is a mighty, mighty strong side, and proof is in the pudding. Gin and Jukes gets on through, picks up lead jammer for Victoria.
Sipping on gin and Jukes, lady. But it's Curly now also through with her initial their initial pass as they round that third corner.
Yep.
And look to point some points on the board.
A nice little grab and go there from Gin. Just get the 4 points called off.
There's quite a few transfers in here from the Queen Bees team.
Yeah.
I know that Betty Doom was an old South Sea player.
She was.
Beth Adder, BA, used to be a Sun State as well as Chop Chop.
Yep. Slappuccino, ex-Diamond Valley.
Ex-Diamond Valley. And so, I mean, a lot of people gravitate towards Victoria, so they certainly do get a bit of an upper edge sometimes.
We do.
Chop Chop is right there in the middle of a whole lot of Northside skaters, but she's found her way on the outside edge and is now the lead jammer.
Yeah.
And Pixie's doing some crazy acrobatics over there in the corner.
Yep. Good bit of defensive work there by Victoria to take Pixie out on the outside part of turn 1, but it's quick to get back on track. Some fancy footwork. Unfortunately, though, for Pixie, she's going to be recycled midpoint between turns 1 and 2. Oh, nice bit of work there by who that was.
So no pass, no penalty. So she was knocked out on the inside edge.
Yeah.
If you're new to the game and you're wondering what happened there, because the person who knocked her out on the inside edge went out also, that means that she could just continue on her merry way, and all is well with the world.
Don't have to be recycled and make your way back. You just jump straight back on track.
That's right. Beowulf.
Thigh slap, Venus. I kind of miss the traditional Venus thigh slap. She's kind of got a little swagger, but she's taken that out of her start. But anyway,
was it trademark?
I thought it was, and I think I mentioned it to her one scrimmage I was refereeing. I said, "I love your little trademark thing," and she kind of laughed and went, "Yeah," and that was it.
Sure, it wasn't one of those things that she just didn't notice she was doing.
Yeah.
Like, I like the way you scratch the side of your face when you laugh. And you're like, I never knew that happened.
Speaking of Venus, she's been held up though on the main straightaway. The Victoria Queen Bee is really making life difficult for her, but
Beowulf trying to make her way through the back end, having trouble getting knocked out.
Yeah.
Sorry there, JR.
No, you're right.
You off.
No. All good. Massive recycle, though, on Venus Ice. Like, got taken right back deep into turn 4. As a jammer, she's thinking, no, don't want that.
Meanwhile, Beowulf has snuck around the outside of the track and is putting some points on the board. Big shout out to the Cecil family out there. Some Fizz Gig family folks if you're out there.
Nice.
I'm watching.
Interesting. Missy Bowler is sitting in the bin after receiving the star. So she will sit in the penalty box now for around 30-odd seconds.
Do you know they found a cure for Ebola after that last round? I don't think they advertised it, but I'm pretty sure they've sorted it out.
I did not know this.
Now don't go Googling it and then be like, you know what, that Chief Intent just makes shit up.
No, he doesn't. Chief Intent, I must point out, ladies and gentlemen, is a man full of knowledge, worldly wise.
Exactly. Google actually is my enemy.
Google.
Just so you know.
It's very handy.
I work way better when people can't fact check the things I make up.
Right.
Ella Edwards, but quite possibly the star jammer of this game. She's certainly having a wonder game out there. And Fizzgig, who's now currently the pivot, unable to stop Ella. Ella.
Very, very quick footwork, both. Well, laterally track work for Ella, allowing her to get on through and pick up lead jam, and now getting through on her point scoring pass. There's 4 fingers, 4 more points going the way of Ella Edwards and the Victoria Queen Bees.
Some fancy skating, comes on through the inside edge and flicks on out to the outside edge and puts some more points on the board. There has been a star pass. Now Fizzgig is the current lead jammer, only for a very few seconds.
Yeah, you got to love Google. I mean, I think we all just appreciate just what technology we have in our daily lives. I know it was very handy for me when I've just come back recently from a trip over to Cape Town in South Africa, which was an amazing experience. Very eye-opening, I will say. Food, divine.
You didn't drink any of their water, did you? Because they're running out.
No, well, yeah, they're still very much under strict water restrictions. But anyway, enough of my travels around the world. We've got Tripitaka VRDL up against Curly for Northside. Slow-moving pack. Mid-main straight is where all the action's at. Neither team giving either jammer anything to work with. Both jammers pushing really, really hard to try and find something, a little gap, a little seam, some weak point somewhere.
We still haven't come around the first corner, and there it is, Tripitaka, finger in the sky, lead jammer. We've got 8.5 minutes left in this very, very first game here at TGSS. If you're looking at the scoreboard, we're 306 to 75. Now, I'm a big fan of It's Not Anyone's Game.
Yeah.
It is anyone's game.
It is anybody's game.
A bit of a Freudian slip there, but at the moment they have to make up a good 240 points in the last 8 minutes.
Yep. Slappuccino making her way to the penalty box. I wasn't quite sure what the penalty was, so I'm not going to guess. But meanwhile, the pack now exiting turn 4, back onto the main straight out front. And picking up another Grand Slam 5-point haul. It is Tripitaka of the VRDL variety.
Trippy just looks out into the stands.
Does she what?
And I can see her daughter over there going a bit bananas. And it's great to see. Also a junior skater for VRDL.
She is, and doing great guns too from what I have been told.
Oh, yeah. That looks like the VRDL cheer squad over there. I can
it
see
is.
Danny Darko over there too.
Okay, so we've got a bit of a split pack off of turn 2 there, just slowly coming together, making its way down the back straight away. Curly now, just one more block as she enters into turn 3, through turn 4 and back on the main straightaway. So Curly now will be making her way back around. Hopefully she can pick up some points.
Yeah. Pie Curious was the last blocker there, holding Curly for a little bit there. Yeah. 3 more points on the board for the Queen Bees.
Yeah. As we find ourselves on, as soon as I see the team timeout.
Team timeout. Do you know what they should be doing? Making royal jelly, these Queen Bees. They should selling royal jelly. Do you know, I never thought about this the other day,
Yep.
but until the other day. But vegans can't eat honey.
Really?
Yeah, because it comes from an animal. I didn't even think about.
I didn't think about that either.
And it's apparently sometimes bees perish when they're harvesting the honey, and they make and so it's not kosher, or it's probably kosher, but
I'd say it'd be kosher, but vegans. No. Okay, well, I did not know that. So for all the people playing along at home,
don't eat VRDL.
Do not. I don't know how to respond to that. Don't eat honey. She also skates for VRDL. Okay, we're going to a place there that neither of us should be going.
Nah.
So we're going to be very good boys and be on our bestest behaviour.
Yeah.
No, but that's interesting. I did not know that.
Yep.
There you go.
Learn something new every day or two.
You do. You do indeed.
Mad Pixie up against Gin and Jukes.
Mad Pixie in a traditional start line for her, which is about an inch off the ground. Getting down nice and low. As the whistle blows, hammer down, gets this one underway.
Pixie was instantly enveloped by some queen bees there, but she is not stopping. And Gin and Jukes, however, is getting no pass, no penalty. So this means that she's not going to be the lead jammer.
Yep.
As soon as Mad Pixie gets through that front of that blocking pack, then she can call it off if she wants to. But Gin and Jukes, even though she's not the lead jammer, is putting points on the board.
Yep, and a Grand Slam 5-point haul at that as well as Mad Pixie gets on through. Momentarily had a stashed star, but puts that back on the helmet. Now the pack gets a bit of speed about it. Love seeing this. Oh, unfortunately for June, she picks up a cut track. Now this is exactly what Northside were looking for.
Well, exactly. I don't know if Mad Pixie's put any points on the board in the scoring section so far. It looks like they haven't. Gin and Jukes has got 5 and probably a few more in the pocket when she comes out of the bench. But it is time for Mad Pixie, and she's being held up there by a bunch of bees.
Yeah. And this is where Northside really need to try and capitalise on. I think with 5.5 minutes to go, I mean, the scoreboard says that they're not going to make up the points difference, but at least get something out of this game that they can take into their next.
Well, they're certainly not feeling defeated. They've got points on the board to put up there, and they're not going to give up until the final siren.
Yep.
Which is just a bunch of whistles.
But it's still a final siren.
Siren to us.
Exactly.
So we got Gin and Jukes back on. She's collecting some of those points.
Yeah.
That she was stashing before, and there's 4 of them on the ball.
Yep. Pack just come to a bit of a grinding halt there on turn 2 while the defenses go about doing all their things.
Oh, cut track. I'm not too sure it's being sent off there, but they're going to make their way around the outside edge. It's a north side 119.
I think it's Daywalker.
Daywalker.
Yep.
So we've got just under 5 minutes left in the very first game. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm not going to call it just yet, but this is the start of a great weekend.
Oh, massive weekend.
And what a great way to start with these 2 powerhouse teams.
Yep. And it's all the ones. Day 1, track 1, game 1.
Yep.
All the ones. As we see Beowulf 27 VICs. Victoria up against 301. That's Fizgig of the North Side Rollers variety as we get this one underway. And
Beowulf gets a cut track
straight up.
She's making her way back to the bench, and it means that Fizgig, who's now getting super recycled, is going to have to try and pile drive her way through there. There's not many people on the board for Northside, but one of those people happened to be the Duchess, and she's trying to make a little bit of room as an old school bit of a whip happening over there.
Yep. Saw the outside line on or into turn 1 as the option available and took it, did Fizgig.
Yep.
Now coming back around for some scoring opportunities.
Yep.
There's a couple of points there. So this is exactly what Fizz and Northside need. Opposing jammer in the bin. Opportunities are plenty to try and get as many points as they can to add to their already impressive total.
Duchess of Hazard bridging these 2 teams. It is a stretched out pack with all these people standing in the middle trying to make it curious. Standing up against Fizgig, only one there. And there's some points on the board for Fizgig. 5 fingers in the sky.
Yep. that was some amazing work by Pi there. If you ever wanted to have a little bit of a masterclass on one-on-one positional blocking, what Pi just put up in front of us, I know you can't see it at home, ladies and gentlemen, but amazing. Or maybe you can see it at home. I don't know.
Maybe watch it the replay.
Maybe watch the replay.
Maybe you are watching the replay.
Yes.
So, looks like Tripitaka. No, it's not. It's a Beowulf. And it's called off.
Yep.
Good work for NSR coming out of there, recovering some much-needed points in the end of that jam. And Fiskid doing a great job.
Picking up 7 points in that previous jam were the Death Stars. 14 points going the way of the Bees.
We've got 2 minutes left. I really want to see NSR crack a hunch.
They could do it.
Crack a ton.
Crack a ton.
Crack a ton.
Venus thigh slap.
Tripitaka, Venus thigh slap. Tripitaka straight up on through the inside edge there. I don't know if we're going to get to see this hunch, but
well, you never know.
I'm still crossing my fingers and toes.
Yep. You never know.
Tripitaka is flying around this track. We have had a bit of a star pass, and we're rocking in with 88, Mr. Bowler at the moment, with the helmet cover in her hand at the moment.
Yep.
Tripitaka is still piling on the points and taking full advantage of the fact that NSR Northside have yet to break through and make their initial pass.
Yep.
And putting some more points on the board as dictated by William Skatespeare. 5 more points for VRDL Queen Bees.
Yeah, good defensive effort there by Miss Rye, just to hold up Trippy for as long as she could. Again, putting on a really good display of positional blocking skills. But Trippy was, she only had to push her 20 feet. Beyond that, she has to yield and let her go.
That's right. We got Miss Ree, who just yielded to Tripitaka.
Yeah. Another Grand Slam 5-point haul then for Trippy on that previous pass.
We could be looking at one of the highest scoring jams in this match so far.
Yep.
It's a real tribute to both these two teams that we haven't had any big, massive jams come through. I think, 20 is probably the highest that we've seen so far. And so Trippy is looking to match, if not take out the highest jam in this game, as she's just getting recycled there a little bit.
So the Northside defense there on turn 4. Great triangle work there just to momentarily hold Trippy up, but getting on through, picking up a 5-point Grand Slam haul is Tripitaka, and guess what that means?
What does it mean?
It means that Trippy has 25 points in that previous jam.
Yeah.
The biggest points
score
per jam score in this game. So well done to Trippy.
So they're all doing good things over there, and that looks like the timer. 358 to the Victorian Queen Bees up against 91 for Northside Rollers.
Yeah.
And what a great start to this competition.
Oh, amazing start. As we said right at the top, these two teams are super, super strong. They are strong defensively. They are strong offensively. I guess if you wanted to break it all down, maybe Victoria's just a little bit more polished, a little bit more tighter. But you know what? These Northside Rollers SRs, hold your heads high, because 91 points
massive
is a huge, huge effort. And they'll take a lot away from that, no doubt. But what a way to start off this tournament. Day 1, track 1, game 1.
In the words of the late, great Karen Carpenter, that we have only just begun.
Yes,
so
we do.
Strap yourself in, get yourself some snacks. 3 days of great roller derby ahead of you.
Loving this.
JR, it has been an absolute pleasure to commentate with you this morning.
Absolutely, and likewise.
Fantastic start to the competition.
I think we'll probably cross paths again at some point over the weekend. I'm damn sure of it.
I dare say.
What, 60-odd games I think we've got to cover this weekend with all the commentators.
Before lunch.
And that's just day 1. But
no. So stay tuned. I've been Chief Intent. It's been an honour chatting to you this morning. Check out all the games. There's so many to see this weekend.
Definitely. And I'm JR. Thanks very much, everybody, for tuning on in. And we look forward to your company throughout the course of the weekend.